Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanius here. Welcome to episode number 8 of this NHL 22 Newfoundland Growlers Draft to Glory franchise mode here on my channel. If you guys have missed episodes up to this point, head up into that top corner, and if you do enjoy, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and hit notifications to never miss these uploads. So, today we get into the 2028 NHL Entry Draft and the lottery, and the retirees from 2027 here, and all that good stuff. Obviously, last episode, we did finally have an award winner in Adam Fantilli, who put up a ridiculously good stat line here with 58 goals, 38 assists for 92 points. Apart from that, Berkly Catton's looking really good. Same with Jiricek. I don't know how he's not 90 rated yet. He's been having fantastic seasons with us and our team, but that's okay. So, I do realize now Adam Fantilli only has a couple X factors, so we'll have to max him out on those because he's playing so well right now. Apart from him, not too many other players are really hitting their peaks yet, which is good because that means this team is still improving. But I think we could probably add some X factors to a guy like Vorobyev, or even Piespanen could get one maybe. But apart from that, that's kind of where the team's sitting. Going into this draft, we're not going to be landing a super high pick. We finished just outside of a playoff spot, to be completely honest, and it sucks because our team really didn't do all that well. But looking at the standings and how everything turned out, we finished 17th, so we're going to be right up at the top of the lottery unless somehow we land some insane luck and land this franchise defenseman. I mean, it's very unlikely, but man, Simon Demers would probably set our team up for the maximum amount of success we could have. So anyways, let's advance here. Pretty much just simulate right up to the draft here and see how the lottery treats us. So, right off the bat, Arizona's going to land it. Oh, poor Minnesota. Arizona and Tampa Bay move up from 7 and 9 to 1 and 2. That's such a joke, but we're going to be picking at 16. So yeah, that kind of stings, to be honest, that, you know, Carolina, Minnesota, Chicago, all those teams don't even get a shot at the best players in this draft. So that's, yeah, that's a little rough. But apart from that, you know, we're looking through, we're probably not even going to be landing players in this range. We're probably going to be further back than that. I am looking at this Morozov guy. He actually looks really good, and I'm just interested to see how he turns out. So he might be the defenseman we end up taking. There are a couple other guys here that kind of look like they could be elite, but I'm not entirely sure yet. Like Alexander Danis looks pretty decent. Might end up being something special. Hector Bell looks like a steal, to be honest. Lots of X factors. Apart from that, Draper's looking okay. Medium elite there in Gortz. I don't know if we're going to get a shot at him, though, unfortunately, just because he does appear to be falling outside of the top kind of group here. All right, and for retired players this year, we're going to see Sidney Crosby call it quits. 1,776 points for that 2005 first overall. Just amazing player. Everybody knows Crosby. And apart from that, Roman Josi actually retires. Oh, he's 89 rated. That's rough. Most of these guys were actually at retiring age, except for maybe Evander Kane and Roman Josi. So, yeah, that kind of sucks for those guys' teams. But apart from that, nothing super crazy. I don't even know if we see any Newfoundland players retire here. Some decent goalies, though, as well. Like, that was a good group of goalies there. But yeah, let's just see if any Newfoundlanders end up calling it a career. And yeah, 2 actually. So Brendan Dillon quits hockey, as well as Noel Achari. So both those guys are gone. I doubt we'll get them as scouts, but not a bad retiree class. And this year, I don't think we see anybody from our team retire. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any coach retirement, so that's good to see. Alright, so as we head into the draft now, we've got a couple players that are ending up on the block that probably shouldn't, but, you know, overall, Delmore's developed well. Ackerland's starting to look okay. Again, not really exactly where we wanted him to be, but that was kind of expected. Ethan Tangradi had a decent season there in the U.S. League. Maybe we'll give him one more year. Edwards, Grand Pierre, those guys are all playing pretty well. Billy Dolman probably should be ready to make the NHL, but we'll see about that. We will probably sign Petrov this year too, as well as potentially Gibbons. Gibbons is actually looking really solid. He had a great season, 57 points. Nicholson's going to need a re-sign. Same with a guy like Iafallo, but they're, again, not going to be as expensive as they were. I think there's a good chance we could give Philippe Steves another season in the AHL just to really let him develop and then throw him into the NHL. That might be the plan. James Stepan for a 7th rounder is looking incredibly skilled, especially for a power forward. And apart from that, Francisco Wolski's looking okay. Didn't have an insane season, but had a decent season. And then not a lot of growth apart from that. So that's kind of where our team's at. We're looking pretty decent, nothing crazy, but again, we're working towards that goal of actually becoming a very competitive team. So that's where we're at. I don't exactly know where we're picking apart from pick 16. But yeah, we'll see how this draft goes. All right, so as we begin this 2028 NHL Entry Draft, obviously the franchise defenseman's going to go first. Simon Demers just looks so good. Arizona's got a fantastic player on their hands. Let's just go right over to pick 16, see what happens. Kasparaitis is good. Jennings, wow, okay, so this is a really solid draft class. Oh yeah, Jaden Anderson would have been my first pick if we were drafting higher. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And not a crazy top 5, but again, not terrible either. So, I mean, it is safe to say that this draft class was actually pretty solid as far as defensemen go, especially up at the top, as well as, Jaden Anderson's looks good, but looking now, the next 2 defensemen on the board look fairly similar, but I'm kind of feeling Morozov. I think he might be the better defenseman, even though he didn't really put up a crazy stat line or anything. He was getting 1 point every 5 games kind of thing, but he played a lot in Russia, which is different. Offensive instincts, defensive zone play, and decision making are all really good strengths. So I think we are going to take him. And he is a medium elite. Let's go. Offensive defenseman too. Oh, and he's actually loaded on X factors. Okay, so his skating and physicality is definitely below average, but at the same time, really good senses, really good defense, decent shooting, better puck skills categories. I'm really impressed with that pick. At pick 16, he could develop into something special still, so let's just wait and see, because Timofey Morozov might end up being one of the best picks in this entire draft. Alright, so over to pick number 49 now, and we are going to see Hector Bell get taken early. That kind of sucks, but what do you do about it, right? Ooh, Leitch was nice. Albert, did that other defenseman get picked? Danis. Yeah, he gets picked. Okay, that kind of sucks, but what do you do about it, right? Yakubov was actually really nice too, 67 rated, but with our next pick, this is our 2nd rounder, I kind of want to take Gordy Draper. I know he doesn't like scream X Factors or super elite player or anything like that, but I'm kind of set on Draper out of all these picks. I mean, obviously I wanted Hector Bell, but he's just not on the board. So Gordy Draper is also elite. Oh my god, what? I thought he was like maybe going to be a medium 6. I was actually kind of expecting a medium 9, but 34 points in 63 games as an 18-year-old is pretty solid. So keep an eye on Gordy Draper. He could turn into something as well. And that's a really good start. We miss out on Oscar Gortz as well. There's, again, lots of players in this draft that I was eyeing, but again, our picks just did not line up with them this year. So, all right, we land the elite player there. I mean, Engren was nice. Same with Lawrence, but looking overall, I don't think we really missed out on a ton of talent. Like, yes, there's some good players in there, but not as good as the potential as Draper. So, on to our next pick, and I believe we're going to go with, the Russian winger here, Sergei Kozevnikov. I know he's not a great scheme fit or anything like that, but I've just got a good feeling about this guy. Again, no weaknesses is a huge thing for me. So, Kazevnikov is elite too. Okay, I was again hoping medium 6 at this point, and he is elite. Wow, okay. That's straight luck. I mean, Morozov, I was kind of hoping to be elite, but Draper and Kazevnikov for wingers, I was like, yeah, maybe they turn out, but it's unlikely. I'm really happy with that. All right, so on to pick number 115 now, and I think we have a guaranteed pick at this point. I mean, Clarence Meach was actually pretty decent for Minnesota, and apart from our couple draft steals here so far, I mean, ooh, Boyd was actually really nice too. But we are going to go with, where is he? He's guaranteed. Yeah, here we go. Frederick Lack. 6'2", 200 pounds, really solid looking defensive defenseman. We got to take him. He's medium 4. Oh, and he's 57 rated. Okay, nice pick there. Good shooting, better physical and defense. That's what you expect out of a defensive defenseman. And we will take that pick all day. What is with everybody wanting to trade for our picks now? Interesting. But with our next pick, I don't know if we have a guaranteed kind of player. I kind of want to go with Gunnarsson over everybody else. Guy Fortin probably shouldn't be pinned, apart from he might have an X factor. Yeah, this is not spectacular. Alright, so we're going to take Calle Gunnarsson here. Don't know if they're going to be elite or not. And they're a fringe starter. Ouch. Okay, so finally one of those picks doesn't go our way. But, you know, that's okay. They're not all going to be super steals or anything like that. But, you know, Gunnarsson's still not a terrible pick. But we've definitely landed some better picks in this draft so far. So over to pick number 181, and I think I want to take another stab at a goalie here. This time I think we're going to go off the board a bit further, because, let's see, Gunnarsson wasn't great. Anybody else was actually good? Guy Fortin, of course, Fortin was decent. Barnaby was okay, and that's pretty much it for that round. Okay, so want another goalie, but I don't want one of these, like, pretty much guaranteed looking fringe starter goalies. I would rather go down the board and try to find an elite goalie, and I'm thinking, ooh, so here's a question. I want to take both of these guys, but the real question is, who's going to be better? Well, first off, okay, we've got Christie and Kazanov pinned there, but when's our next pick? Okay, our next pick's 214. I think these are both doable picks. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to take Christie first. That's what I'm thinking. That's, what are we, 181? Yeah. And then we'll do Kazanov after at pick 214. All right, so let's take Donovan Christie. Again, these players are back-to-back. They're off the board, but Donovan Christie's got a 3-year ETA at 19, so if he's 22 by the time he makes the NHL, I'd be really happy with that, and I think he's going to be good, and that he is. Oh, he's 66 rated too. Low elite sniper. There's another 6th-round steal for you guys. Yeah, Donovan Christie looks really good, so we'll see how well he turns out if he develops properly, and now the question is, does Kazanov get picked? Nope, but Roussel does. Not too crazy a 7th round to start off, and man, that Christie pick is so good. So, again, you just gotta watch ETAs, especially in later rounds, but to end off this draft, we're gonna take Igor Kazanov, and for a 7th round goalie, he is elite. Nice, okay. 48 rated, but for a 7th rounder, I'm expecting him to eventually develop. And I don't think we're going to see too many other really good picks in this draft. My scouting didn't show off a lot of that. So we'll wrap it up there for that draft. That's a good draft, too. I mean, Gunnarsson was kind of the one missed pick, but like everybody else has NHL potential. So something I have noticed is that our defensemen just aren't developing as well as I would like them to in the minors. So I think with that in mind, we are going to hold off on certain players. Like, yes, Steves and Delmore developed quite nicely, but again, they were playing like top minutes. So apart from those guys, you know, you look at the max growth in this system. I mean, Donovan Christie was one of those guys. Same with Bugstad, though, but apart from that, a lot of this growth is coming from the overseas leagues, which are actually huge, because if we can just keep roster space, develop players overseas, and then bring them over once they're kind of NHL or AHL ready, that's going to make a huge difference. But a guy like Mikhail Petrov barely improved over the same span of games, so I think we do bring him over this upcoming year. Apart from that, I think we do have to sign Wolski too, and he will get playtime because, again, he's just developing slightly better than Borowski right now. Kyler Timmins didn't grow anymore, even though he put up 111 points, so I think it's time to sign him up as well. And I think we are going to let a lot of these prospects just sit and develop more, like especially a guy like Morozov. I think he could do just fine overseas. And as far as goalies go, Kristanovich maybe we end up signing, but apart from that, we have drafted a lot of Rimouski players, but Silvegaard could be on his way out here just to clear up roster space, and we'll see what happens here this offseason. So as we advance, we've got a ton of scouts expiring here, so we got to sign all of these guys back up. I totally forgot to go and replace that one other Liga scout, but that's okay. So we have 11 players becoming RFAs, including Berkly, Catton, and Tiro Piispanen, so some big name players there that we have to re-sign. Taylor Nicholson, our captain, and our best defenseman at the moment, will definitely need a new contract as well. And we're going to have to do some serious negotiation here. Ooh, it doesn't help that Iafallo is still on a $10 million contract for one more year too, so that's going to make things a little bit more tricky. I think Bo Gibbons might be one of those guys that we do end up bringing in as well. He just looks really good. Alright guys, so starting off with the goalies, and I think $2.25 million for Piispanen is not a terrible deal by any means, but again, we are kind of handcuffed here on contracts, so I'm thinking something that might actually not be a terrible move could be to buy out Iafallo. We'd pay him $3.33 million for the next 2 years. He wouldn't cost us $10 million in cap space. That might not be a bad idea, especially when our buyout penalty is $0. So that might be the move here. Apart from that, you know, we do have some pretty heavy contracts throughout this team as well, but when, again, you sort by overall, and Berkly Catton is going to need a decent amount of money. Yeah, he's going to take up $9 million, and Taylor Nicholson is going to take up $8.5 million. So big names there that we need to re-sign. Piispanen, again, another big name. Looking at our goalie prospects, and unfortunately, I don't think Kent Nemec is actually going to turn into anything. He's 66 rated at 21 years old. We drafted him in 2026 along with Kristanovich. Kristanovich was 2 rounds later than him, and he's developed better. So Kristanovich is going to get the nod as far as signings go. Piispanen's going to be nice and cheap as a signing for a decent goalie, and he's going to be a backup goalie as well. But yeah, we still have to sign guys like Bush and maybe not Kucherov and more because we have enough prospects now, but like I would like to re-sign Lizotte, maybe Rodriguez. I don't know about him so much. He's saying no. But we have prospects as well, so let's get to this. First things first, gonna buy out Alex Iafallo for $3.33 million for the next 2 years. Not a problem, but the team morale is going to go down a little bit from it, and let's try to get this rule of 85 going here with some of these prospects. So we're going to offer an $8.45 million contract to Berkly Catton for the next 7 years. And we're going to offer a $7.275 million contract to Nicholson for the next 3 years. Apart from that, Jurgen Busch will get a small $1.75 million contract for the next 3 seasons. Dean Kukan is going to be nice and cheap, so we might as well sign him for $1 million for the next year. Rodriguez does not want to sign, so we will very likely end up releasing him, but Lizotte wants the contract. So Rodriguez is gone. Trevor Moore probably is worth signing for $1 million for the next season. Apart from Moore, we'll probably go with Drew O'Connor. Again, pretty cheap deal here. A lot of these guys are cheap deals, so I can't really complain about them. Drake Caggiula has really started to drop off here, unfortunately. He just hasn't been all that great. So I think it is probably time to release him at 34 years old and clear up a new roster spot. Jared Bass should get re-signed. Same with Bo Gibbons. We're going to give him the opportunity here because he's developed really well. At 19 years old, he's looking like he could turn into a good NHL prospect. Hudson Jeffrey has still played extremely well, so we'll sign him. I'm not so sure about Spruev and Blacker. Again, I think they're kind of taking up roster spots at this point when they're only producing between 16 and 25 points. So at 25 years old, Spruev and Blacker are going to be on their way out. Markstrom, again, 41 points. He played way better than most of our guys, so Oscar Markstrom will get a re-sign. Lou Black, again, another one of those players where it's like, we could hold on to him, but at 24 years old, he's really not going to develop much more, so instead we'll go and sign Petrov. I think I'm going to sign James Stepan here too. He's looking really good. Had a good season, so I know I said we're going to try to develop a lot of players overseas, but again, some players we do just need to sign to continue their development curve. And Kyler Timmons as well as Ollie Lume will get re-signed. And then apart from that, Grossman should get a contract. We're going to leave Wolski for 1 more year and should see some development there. And apart from that, I really like where the team's at. Unfortunately, our first-round pick in Morozov is one of our worst prospects in overall rating, but what do you do, right? So next up, Tiro Piesmanen. Should get a really nice and cheap contract here. I'm going to try to negotiate even cheaper than that. All right, so $2.225 million contract should come up to 1.89, so 1.9 million, not bad. I think not Matthias, but Magnus Silvegaard, we're going to release. Again, just can't really develop too much further than he already has, but Moises Kristanovic is going to get the sign-in here because he's developed so well. Kent Nemec, he played well, but again, we're going to let him walk. Some other team can sign him. And that is the team. Hopefully we get all of these sign-ins, and let's see what happens. So we get Kukan, we get Lizotte, we get Moore, we don't get O'Connor, we do get Luff, we don't get Piesmanen, we get Gibbons, Petrov, Timmons, we don't get Catton, we do get Jared Bass, we don't get Nicholson, we do get Bush, Rodin, Jeffrey, Markstrom, Lume, Grossman, Kristanovic, Stepan, and pretty much everybody except for our big name free agents. So not a problem. We'll offer them a little bit more money. I'm going to offer Catton a $9.25 million and hope he takes it. It should be enough for him, but we'll see. 8.5. I'm going to try $8 million for Nicholson. That's still a big contract. And then a guy like Piesmanen, I'm going to offer 2. Hope that's enough, and we'll see. So let's advance here. And did we seriously get rejected all 3 times? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous, guys. Come on. I know the team's bad, but we just missed the playoffs. Okay. 9.5 it is for Berkly Catton because he's greedy, I guess. So we're going to go 8.5 for Nicholson. 9.5 and 8.5 is not great. Pushing 18 million there. So maybe we end up qualifying Piesmanen just for now so we can make sure that we sign him. And apart from that, who else is on a huge contract that probably doesn't deserve it? Dylan Coughlin, yeah. Unfortunately, our buyout penalty is pretty atrocious right now, so we're kind of stuck here. We might have to go with a worse backup than Peaceman, like maybe Mahler ends up getting a chance here, but I would prefer to have Peaceman in the net. So, all right, let's advance one more day. You guys better take these freaking contracts. Berkly, Catton signs, Taylor Nicholson signs. Again, why was that so difficult? Unfortunately, okay, no, we do have $3 million, so we are going to be able to re-sign Tiro Peaceman for exactly what he wants, which is fine by me. We'll advance, we get him. All right, and I think we're good to go. Looking at all the remaining expiries, I guess Drew O'Connor should get a contract for like $1.25 million. And Nemec, again, no point in signing him. I'd rather check out the free agent class. And let's get to the 2028 free agency here. So I don't see any real need to trade players again. Yeah, our team isn't in the most spectacular spot, but we're actually starting to push playoff status. So you're kidding me that Mickelson didn't get signed, really? Okay, well, that's an interesting play. Unfortunately, just about all of these guys are signed or are drafted. So, all right, so there's not really much in free agency there for us to explore this year. We're just going to sim to the next season and see how the team turns out. All right, guys, so looking at the team this year, and we're going to bring our best forward up here. Thomas Rodin is going to get the call up. We're just short on forwards, to be completely honest. I'm going to move Billy Dolman down for one more year. Philippe Steves is getting a shot in the NHL, same with a bunch of guys here, but we are just kind of like overly heavy on defense, so that'll have to be something we focus on heading into the next season or so here. And when you look at this team, Ashton Delmore has developed extremely well. He was like an 79, 80 rated going into the offseason. Now he's an 84, top 4 defenseman. He's one of our best defensemen, and for a 3rd round pick, he has just turned out to be way better than expected. So we'll make that roster move. That's pretty much all we're going to do, and then I'll show you guys the lines. So one more thing here, guys, just before I show you the lines, we got to go add some X factors to certain players. So first off, we have to go with Adam Fantilli. His shooting is just insane. He's developed extremely well. So I think we're going to make it snappy there for him, but I think 1T could definitely be something we add, as well as maybe like elite edges too. His agility is actually extremely high. So let's go add those 2 X factors to him and see if that improves at all. So I think it's safe to say Fantilli's our best player at a 93 overall, but he's just looking so strong right now. Apart from that, Jyrki Pitkanen has now hit a 90 overall, so that means he gets 5 zone abilities and an X factor, and a superstar. No, sorry, 1 zone ability and 5 superstar X factors. So his shooting is not his strong suit by any means, but his defense, his puck skills, his senses, even his skating is pretty good. So I think we give him something like Stick 'em Up, as well as put Tape to Tape as his zone ability. And, well, apart from that, he is pretty quick, so Wheels could be something else he has. So, all right, so we change those X factors and zone abilities around, and Pitkanen looks really good. Apart from that, Ashton Delmore is up to an 84 rating now. So at 84 overall, he can have 2 X factors, and I think his strength and body checking is one of his strong suits along with his defending. So we'll give him X factors based on those statistics. So we'll give him truculence and we'll give him shutdown as his two best kind of defending stats here. But yeah, Delmore for a 3rd round pick has turned out to be something way better than I expected. And finally, for our goalies this year, we definitely need to add some X factors to both of them, as well, we can put 4 X factors on Vorobyev and we can put 3 on Piespanen, so that's likely going to help them. I need to go and look at their stats, just see what their strong suits are, because apart from that, you know, it's kind of hard to tell. So looks like athleticism is one of, athleticism and reflexes seem to be Vorobyov's kind of strong suits. 5-hole looks really good on him, along with his breakaways, his durability, and what else? I guess his low stick as well. So, or his speed. Yeah, his speed's really good. So, let's give him handled it for sure as one of those abilities. We'll have to change his equipment up a bit. But wait, last stand, breakaways and penalty shots. Yeah, sorry, that's one of the good ones. Large energy boost for handled it would make sense. Apart from that, I would say post to post is a very likely one as well, just based on the fact that he's so athletic. And then finally, for his 4th one, let's say whirlwind. Okay, so that's Vorobyev. He wears number 30. We're gonna get the equipment set up here too on the goalies, because we're playing as Newfoundland, we can actually go and use a team mask, which is so cool. Oh yeah, that looks so good. So Vorobyev will get, obviously he'll get the mask. I wonder if there's actually like team stuff here for ECHL. Like, do the Growlers, they do actually have some interesting color. I don't know if that's exactly the color we were going for, but I guess it works. Yeah, no, I might do these custom instead. I think that would just look so much better. Alright, so we designed some pretty slick looking pads here for Vorobyev. I'm expecting him to put up an even better season this year. He got 30 wins last year, and I don't see why the team in front of him can't do even better this year. So we're getting him to look the part here. I think I am just going to change the stick color a little bit more here, just on some of like the logo and stuff, just because the white does look kind of better, though, I would say. Like, we'll do, yeah, black star and then that around it. Yeah, okay, that looks better, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, as far as Tiro Piespanen goes, his agility and speed actually are his best stats. So with him having the availability of 3 X factors, I think that we should stick with those, as well as probably his glove hand seems to be kind of his strong suits. Alright, so I've gone with a slightly more simple look for Tiro Piespanen here with the pads, but I do like the minimalistic kind of feel with his gear. So yeah, that's our goalies, and hopefully they can really stand up for us this year as we get through the simulation coming up. So with all those X factors in place, this is how the team looks now. Slight changes, not really too many there, but this is, you know, it's a solid team. It's nothing crazy. Again, we're playing a roll 3 line system, so I'm expecting these guys to be able to produce decently well, if not better than decently well. But yeah, the team's in a pretty good spot overall, in my opinion. We have a lot of really solid players. I think we're going to try Dominik Kahun up on the 2nd line this year, just to try and help with production, because to be honest, Jiricek really helps out Conor Geekie produce. Like, that's what we've seen over the past 5 seasons or so, is when those two play together, they do really well. So we'll see if Fantilli and Catton can get it done with Kahun on their line. Apart from that, we don't have an ability yet on Delmore, but we're working towards it, and hopefully we'll see that show up soon. Apart from that, Tersambayev and yeah, maybe we play Grand Pierre up. I mean, I do really like Tersambayev's size, but he needs to actually produce well as far as numbers and stuff like that go, to actually kind of stay in our top 6, top 4 here. Apart from that, the goalies, again, they just look insane, and that's our team going into this year. Alright, so here's what the special teams are looking like. It took me a little bit of work to get them to this point, but again, they're looking really, really sturdy. The 4-man power play is a little bit weaker, but again, not too bad. The PK is looking alright, considering we don't have a whole lot of two-way forwards. Like, most of our two-way forwards are Steves and Drew O'Connor. Apart from that, did about as good as I could on this, but yeah, that's our special teams, our extras. You know, again, you can feel free to pause, go back and look at this, but that is how our team's looking. So we'll see what we can do. I think this team, yeah, we're not going to get our hopes up. We very well might be vying for a top lottery pick again, but at the same time, I just have belief that this team is going to be better this year. So, interesting looking draft class coming up. Obviously, you know, a defenseman would help, but again, you know, we add an extra really solid top 6 winger. Again, that could be something that helps. Again, we don't know. We don't know what this draft class is exactly going to look like yet. Best goalie's not until pick 70, roughly. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. Oh, okay, and somehow, guys, our team status just went from seller to buyer within the span of, like, simulating ahead a few days. So I think this team is actually starting to look pretty solid. Alright, so just kind of looking at our team this year, this is how our team shaped up. So we've got 94 offense, 90 defense, and 90 goaltending, which is some of the most well-rounded stats I've seen in any NHL game, and especially with this team. Are we actually we're gonna actually make the playoffs? Let's go. Let's freaking go, boys. We do it. 45, 30, and 7 for 97 points, 4th place finish in the Atlantic. They did it. Oh my god, Fantilli also scores over 100 points this year, so that is huge. We have not made the playoffs until now. Our team finally does it, and wow, I don't know what to say. I mean, to be completely honest, I'm expecting a first-round exit still, but that's exciting. Okay, so happy to see that. I'm happy to find 71 games. Adam Fantilli played 71 games and scored 100 points. That's insane. Berkly Catton also had a freaking amazing year. Gotta like that. Like, that's just high production. Holy 68 points for Taylor Nicholson. That is a huge year from him. He outscores Carpenter and Geekie. Wow, okay. Delmore, 27-point rookie year. Not bad. Was it rookie year? Yeah, it was. Okay. Really decent there. And 35 from Vorobyov. He just tops last season's record. Bit of a worse season, to be honest, from him, but he does get more wins, which is good. Apart from that, I have to go and show you guys our progress reports, because I was kind of monitoring it all year, and we've got some players. Like, we have got some legit players coming up. So, I mean, this is the NHL. Don't get me wrong. It's looking good. We've got a good group here, but look at the system. Look at this. Like, Bo Gibbons, 83 rated. Donovan Christie, 82 rated at 19 years old. He scored 79 points and just skyrocketed. He's not even done yet either. Sergei Kazevnikov, 44 points as a 19-year-old. Like, what? Petrov, 35 points in the minors. Really solid. Morozov, not so good. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some guys did not take off like I was hoping they would, but other guys have just blown me away with their development. And like Callie Mahler, he's pretty much NHL ready now. There's so many guys in here that I'm so excited to see develop and turn into some just amazing players. But the fact that he hasn't even finished playing his whole season yet, like Donovan Christie, and we drafted him 181st overall. Oh man, we've got some legitimate players on the way. Like, this team is going to be nasty. Oh my god, Halifax. Halifax has a year, 102 points. Okay then, Bo Gibbons. Wow, okay, we've got playoff hockey on our hands, like, on both fronts. Oh my goodness. What just happened? So that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Etanio signing out, and until next time.